Hi, this is Andy C, and we are in Phonica in Soho, London, and we are talking about Ram 25 at the Warehouse Project this autumn. Can't wait to see you there. Well, the jungle scene when Ram first started was, Ram actually started before I'd kind of been introduced to the jungle sound. Like, it was back in the breakbeat days, and the first record was, I think that was like 130, 140 BPM that I did, you know, and that was a Sound Mash EP. And this whole area where we are now, I mean, this was the first ever time actually I remember bringing Valley of the Shadows out on records, because Ant used to drive the car and I used to jump out into the record stores, go in with a box of records and go behind the counter and sell them or try and sell them. And I remember going into Black Market just over the road down there and seeing Nicky and Ray, and they took some copies of us, of the first release, and then latterly Valley of the Shadows. I mean, that whole vibe was electric, it was beautiful, it was new, you know, everything was new and exciting. I used to go and rave down Tesco Warehouse, Life Utopia, and Ram fell into that sound, you know, it fell into that thing because that's naturally what personally I was gravitating towards, and then Ant picked up on the vibe and loved it. You know, I was heavily influenced by Shut Up and Dance, who, you know, probably got many, many old school classics in this store right now, you know, and I was always going to go that way. It was always going to be this hardcore sound, but with break beats. I feel immensely proud to, you know, have been able to capture a moment in time, you know, with Ant in the studio, 4 hours, 4-hour session in the studio that was just magical. I can, you know, if I close my eyes, I can remember it now. I can see Ant dancing around the room. I can see the drinks machine. The drinks machine had the old font where it said drinks, that we used for Origin Unknown, you know, and the old classic calculator font. And I could just feel how it happened. It was natural, you know. The bass line flew out, the samples were there, the string line flew out, and the drum, and it was magical. So looking back now, I'm just lucky that I was part of that ride, of that vibe, you know, because tunes are vibes, and tunes stand the test of time, and I guess talk to people in that way. They must just be a vibe. You don't intentionally try to construct them, you know, they just, you know, if it happened every time, then every tune would be like that, but it don't, unfortunately. So yeah, I feel lucky to have been part of that vibe. Yeah, we still, listen, that's never going to leave. I mean, that's what I mean. It's just meant to be, you know, just a combo and just bringing it all together. It just worked out perfectly. I have many favourite periods of Ram's history. Obviously, I love looking back with my rose-tinted glasses of driving around London. I mean, we broke down on Tower Bridge one day, you know, the old Fiesta overheated on Tower Bridge, so we had to pull over, steam coming out the bonnet, and Ant was there like, what am I going to do? And I think we was running down to the shops to get some water to put in, you know, them lovely memories of the naivety, the newness of it all, selling records into stores. And then when a record like Valley of the Shadows really catches fire, the excitement is just undescribable, you know, of seeing people like something that you've made so much. And then obviously the late 90s, you know, mid to late 90s was an incredible period for us, you know, magical times where we was just going out raving, and, you know, we was trying to outdo one another with the tunes, you know, so Shim and I would try and outdo Moving Fusion, and then Ant would try, you know, and then we'd all just be trying to outdo one another, but in a friendly way, you know, and go round to Moving Fusion's house and they've got Turbulence on that, you know, and it's like, oh my God, this tune is massive. And then we'd go back, and the trilogy, you know, we'd do Titan and No React, and beautiful times. And then latterly, you know, and then after that, magical times of signing Sub Focus and seeing him rise, and every tune being a seminal classic, and then chasing statuses and seeing them grow and flourish, and Wilkinson's, and just the roster we've got. You know, the beautiful thing about now, this era, is like the label's massive, it's a monster, you know, and it's got all the history, but we have artists that go from the very, very core of the scene to artists that can sell out, you know, arenas and headline festivals, and that's a beautiful thing, you know, and I think we cover all bases. We just throw as many DJs as possible in the melting pot and we throw one hell of a party. I mean, the beautiful thing, Warehouse Project, Store Street, you know, proper underground vibes anyway. I've been going there for so long. I feel like part of the furniture up there, you know, so it's a beautiful thing to come up there and bring the whole crew, you know, as many as possible. Because we're doing a few dates, you know, around the country, so, you know, we've really gone for it on the Warehouse Project event, and obviously we'll be doing other events when other people are involved in RAM, but this is one hell of a lineup, you know, so we're going to have a huge, huge party. I mean, it's on a personal level, I'll obviously be revisiting the classics during the set and trying to draw out as many RAM vibes as I can. I think that's what I want to do, you know, I want to celebrate the label, the time, the different eras, and hopefully the other DJs on the night will do that, respective of what part they played in the whole story, you know, so I'm sure it'll be a fantastic sort of maybe storybook vibe of RAM. That's what we're hoping for. That's the idea for the tour anyway. I wouldn't plan that out. Listen, I'm always mixing. I mean, for the EXO, for the residency in London, the XOY, I was different 3-hour set every week, you know. So I did a lot of homages to the old school and RAM-based sets there. So no, we'll see what happens. I mean, the beauty of it, everybody knows what they're coming to for the party. You know, they're coming for, it's RAM 25, they're coming to see that lineup. They want the DJs to hold their sound and represent their sound of the part they played in RAM. So hopefully, lucky me, because I've been there since the beginning, I get to draw from every single, you know, great time and memories that I've got. So I'll be doing that on the night. Well, you get to do that. I mean, in all the different places. I mean, Warehouse Project will definitely be on that tip. You know, anyone that come to the residency in London was 13 weeks of that raw energy, and so, you know. But same way. I mean, doing festival sets because it's summer season at the moment. But you know, if you get long enough and you get on the right vibe, you can take it there, man. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter whether there's 50 people or 50,000. It's like, you know, I always try and take it there. It's drum and bass at the end of the day, you know. Drum and bass is always developing, isn't it? It's always doing new sounds, new avenues. There's always new people that come, you know, and it ain't going nowhere. So it's got the freedom to develop, if you like, in a way that it ain't, you know, it's a foundation, cornerstone music genre that is known all around the world now. You know, when I was starting out DJing, you had to explain to people what it was. They would be hearing it for the first time. Now, we're fortunate that everyone knows what it is, you know what I mean? So it's, it develops off of that foundation, off of them building blocks, off of everybody's passion for it. And with a residency that I had at the start of the year, and obviously the Nights of the Warehouse Project, selling out like that, the hunger for it is as strong as ever. Do you know what I mean? And that positivity, that energy will feed the music, and that in turn will then carry it forward for the future. I'm excited to see the fact that I'm doing the summer season and we're out there at the big festivals, but like I was saying, people want it raw, you know what I mean? That's energising to me, is that you can take it raw, and that's what people are feeding off. And I think that is a great catalyst for new exciting stuff coming through. We have been going through the discography of RAM. We're getting some remixes done. We're doing like a special package of to celebrate the label. And there are a few tunes that have been slept on, but there's also tunes that mean a lot to, you know, Ant and I were just talking about, like, you know, tunes like No Boundaries, or Goes Around, Comes Around, like them proper old ones that at the time you can remember the vibe. I can remember like tracks like Goes Around or yeah, the Desired State tracks where it was like such a trip to like cut up the amens like that and do mad drum. Yeah, but that's what I was trying to remember. Yeah, Beyond Bass, sorry. And tracks like Beyond Bass and chop up the amens like that and do some crazy stuff. And where we've been finding the stems and reliving the vibe, it's like, wow, that's exciting, you know, and that reminds you, takes you back to that era. I mean, just yesterday I was listening to the stems of Sound Control. You know what I mean? And just to hear all the raw elements of how the amen was time stretched and chopped up in that. Yeah, it's just, they bring it back, you know, and I love the old rollers, you know. I'd let other people decide that, you know. We just enjoy making the music. We're not going to be like sit here and, you know, blow our own trumpets and like that was a seminal moment that the music changed, you know. We, like I said earlier, we like making, you know, music that means a lot to us, and it's a real, you know, privilege if it ends up meaning a lot to other people, you know, and you get that feedback. Valley of Shadows or something like that happened naturally, that was never intended. Body Rock was natural, that was never intended. It wasn't like, you know, I remember sitting there with Shin being like, what is this track, you know, what does it mean? We couldn't work it out, you know. Get there in the morning, it was an all-night studio session in the morning. Is this really good? Is it good? I don't know, you know, and then played it out that night at Bar Rumba and everybody's freaking out. Ronnie Size wants to take the dub plate home and it's just gone, and then, oh, okay, this track means something. And hopefully stuff like that will continue, you know, and grow. But I'll let other people decide that, you know. I'm just lucky that we've got a credible roster of artists that provide their moments for us, you know. And many of them have provided some great moments for me as a DJ, as a music lover, you know, as drum and bass is my life. And to hear some of the music that they present to us and give us the opportunity to put out on RAM has been incredible. It's never ready. It just ends up going out because he comes down and takes the file and it's got to go out. It's never ready, is it? There's always something more you can do. There's always like that thought in the back of your head, oh, maybe a VIP mix, maybe a remix, maybe special, dub plate special. You know, they're never finished. As a producer, they're never finished, and I'm sure most producers would tell you that like I say, the beauty for me is, with the label side of things, is I get to say to the other guys, you know what I mean? It's finished, man. Send me the file, it's done. Trust me, it's done. And they're all like, oh no, I need to edit this last 16 bars of hi-hats or the breakdown. I'm like, listen, it's cool. Give us the track, we'll put it out. Because at the end of the day, you have to let go and you have to say to yourself, okay, I'll put them thought processes or, you know, that dissatisfaction into the next one.
Anything from you?
Yeah, there'll be tracks from me. I mean, you know, I've had What Bass out this year. I've got Diamond coming out. I've got tons more tracks coming out. Remixes, like I say. We've got some remixes coming up. And then the other artists, I mean, we're running an incredible flow of material at the moment. It's just coming out thick and fast. So there's loads of stuff. I mean, I think we need 2 nights at each venue this autumn, you know what I mean? So we can like mix the old stuff and mix all the new stuff we've got coming next year as well.